If I would have told you June 3rd, 2023, the day I'm recording this video, the S&P would close the week up almost 12% year to date. NASDAQ up almost 25% year to date. You would have told me, man, you probably lost it. This is where we are. Are you ready to summarize the week with all the hot highlights, news, and get prepared for maybe a very, very dramatic week, especially for the biggest company in the world? Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Micha Stocks from our channel Stock Talk with Micha Stocks, where we talk about stocks, we talk about the stock market, and a quick reminder that I am not a financial advisor, and anything and everything that you see here is not financial advice. It's only for education and entertainment purposes only. And by the way, even if someone doesn't say that, hearing someone on YouTube talk about your finances or his finances or someone's finances and doing exactly as it said, that's a risk regardless of the disclaimer, and that is a disclaimer over the disclaimer. Let's dive in. Let's see where we are from the beginning of the week. Dow is up 2.4%, S&P up 2.56%, NASDAQ another 3.39, and the Russell, the smaller 2,000 companies, up 4%. Year to date, YTD, S&P up almost 12%, NASDAQ up 27%, almost 28%, Russell up 4.5%, and the only laggard is the Dow Jones. Why? It has only 30 stocks in it, and those 30 are not compiled with the most exciting and high growth tech companies, and that's the reason. When we look at the crypto market, Bitcoin didn't have an amazing week. It's stabilizing, reducing its movements across time. Also, ETH didn't go up substantially, and you can see year to date, both of them are up 63 and 57%. When we look at the different indices, we can see that consumer discretionary is up 3.3% and other areas in the market as well. When you look at the different sectors that perform better than others, you can see the discretionaries, you can see real estate, materials, industrial and healthcare, and financials as well. Why is that important? Because basically one of the biggest, let's call it, hurdles in the market was the breadth of the market. The participation of different stocks in the rally that we saw earlier from beginning of the year was very narrow. Everyone complained that only 7 and 8 different companies were the ones pushing everything forward or pulling the averages up, and all the rest are not participating. When we see the market, the different sectors widen up and the rally expands, this is a good sign. By the way, it would even be a better sign if technology would cool down a bit. We'll let other companies take the slack and push the S&P, even without the S&P moving that high, a lot higher in the next few weeks, but actually stabilizing here and expanding the breadth. That would be an amazing result for the market, especially if you're a bull. If you're a bear, then what you've heard right now is not a good thing. When we dive in even deeper, oil services went up 4.8%, regional banks, metal and material and mining, home builders, clean energy, internet, REITs, and others. Look at the semiconductors. They're red on the week. This is great news. If you're holding AMD, Micron, Nvidia, and others, you're probably not happy for me saying that. But it's a good thing for the market. It expands the participation of different companies in the increase of the S&P. And that's good. That's what we want to see. More and more companies participating. And we got to the point where I need a quick reminder to everyone that if you're new to the channel, it would be amazing if you can click that subscribe button. By the way, you can also forward these videos to your friends, to your family. Why? One, because you're a good person, and second, because maybe they'll enjoy a stock market weekly summary of all the news that happened this week. When we look at the different, let's call it the top 17 companies that we follow, SoFi up 30, almost 35% on the week. Tesla up 15.99. From a technical perspective, Tesla seems to be breaking out to the upside. Netflix, Enphase, and others. And you can see from on your right-hand side that currently most of these stocks are currently at extreme overbought, which means that from a timing perspective, this is not good timing to dive in. But there's a problem in the market right now, or an opportunity. I'm recording this video, as you all know, June 3rd. We're very close to the end of H1. According to CNBC, which took a report coming out from Goldman Sachs, major hedge funds and portfolio managers have an average increase this year of 3% on their portfolios. But the market went up 12%. They're underperforming, which means that currently they're chasing gains. They're chasing growth. They need an increase. And that's why we are at extreme overbought at a lot of these stocks. Not because the market is amazing, not because everything is fine, just because everyone right now is chasing. Now, this chase might help the widening of the breadth. It might create its own problems, but currently that is let's say the number one thing that is fueling this rally. And if we got to this point, let's talk about all the headlines that came out this week. And we will start with Biden, that a few hours ago signed the increase of a debt ceiling bill and rolling the can down 2 more years, and at least agreeing on a bipartisan agreement, which means that in the wall of worry, we are now beyond the debt ceiling, and basically only additional rate hikes are at the wall of worry. And we'll talk about this video before we talk about other things. So Biden this week went to the Air Force Academy and slipped a lot of rumors about Biden and his health and everything like that. I'm only showing that because once it happened, the market dropped a bit. I'm not in any relationship with his doctors. I have no idea if the rumors, if they are true or not true. I'm just mentioning it because we are now starting a presidential a year and a half a presidential race, a year and a half, and it is going to influence the markets. Something else that is influencing the market is, as I said, chasing growth. Look at the inflows. This came from Bank of America, from Savita Subramanian. Look at the inflows into the tech sector. Look at the volume. Monthly inflows into tech. Everyone wants to be part of the rally because they're late, because they parked money in T-bills, because of all the things we've talked about. Now they're chasing growth. This is usually a good indication that a peak, even a local peak, is very, very close, and there will be some kind of pullback. When we look at the Fed funds future, currently the pricing is that around September, we are going to see rates starting to come down. The reasons for that is because, at least from reports coming, even from Cleveland Fed, CPI is going to drop like a rock, getting to 3% in 2 months. And if that's the case, there's no logic in keeping the rates so high and increasing the rates over and over. When we look at something that is very, very interesting, and Kaylee, I love the way she summarizes, Kaylee Lentz from Bloomberg, the way she summarizes the jobs report. Holy jobs-a-moly. Yeah, so bulls got what they wanted, bears got what they wanted. Changes in the non-farm payroll, surprise to the upside. Good for the bears, bad for the bulls. Why? It means that the economy is still hot. Fed will need to increase rates, which means stock market going down. But on the flip side, unemployment going up, which is good for the bulls, bad for the bears. Why is it good for the bulls? Because it means that rates are not going to go up. So basically, on Friday, we got a jobs report that didn't really change anything. And that's why the market didn't really react to it. And the reason why the market went up on Friday is because of 2 things. One is China probably going to stimulate their economy. That's one thing. And second thing is because behind all these numbers, the average salary didn't go up and actually went down, which means that we are seeing the labor market starting to show its cracks. This is a chart from Charlie Bilello that shows the decrease of unemployment and, of course, the increase in the last week. Amazon is in talks to offer free mobile service to all US Prime members. This is amazing. I will be probably the first one to register. Of course, there will be companies that won't be so happy because it means that customers are going to move from them to others. But, for an Amazon Prime member, this is amazing. Microsoft thinks the deal, buys a company that was backed by NVIDIA called CoreWeave. It helps use NVIDIA GPU cards in a better way. And Dan Ives looks at this acquisition and says, you don't even understand. Microsoft is playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. You're not even in the same game. And he's very bullish on Microsoft. A headline that was mainly fake news. AI-controlled drone kills an operator during a simulated test. Well, not really. Apparently, Colonel Hamilton was giving a presentation and forgot to say the word we thought about a scenario. He just talked about the scenario. When he said a drone used AI and went after its operator, everyone said, oh my God, AI now is using the drones against their operators. But actually, an update that came a bit later said that Colonel Hamilton admits he misspoke. He didn't mean to say it. It was just a thought drill between colonels or someone else. So fake news after fake news, everything related to AI. But this is not fake news. AI, or actually 3,900 people that got jobs cut, according to Challenger research, said that their job was cut due to artificial intelligence. And that is just the beginning. I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that everyone needs to look and ask themselves, can AI replace me? And if the answer is yes, take measurements. PMI is dropping. Tom Lee from Fundstrat says that this is another indication that inflation and CPI is going to go down. He is bullish on the XLI. He believes this is another indicator that the industrial is going to start outperforming other sectors. And another indication that we're cooling down inflation, cost of a 40-foot container is now underneath the price that it was February 2020 pre-COVID. 88% from peak. Very bad for the shipping and freight companies. Apple, or at least customers of Apple's credit cards, say that they're having a hard time taking the money out. And actually, I checked it again. It takes about 5 days. Maybe it took a bit longer, but that's the real headline. Microsoft tries to go after the Activision Blizzard deal. UK regulators currently block it, but they might find a way to overcome them. I don't know how, but they're working on it. Fed Harker. So let's talk about the Fed for a second. Let's start with Mester. Mester said this week, she's a non-voting member, by the way. So she said she doesn't see any compelling reason to stop rate hikes. A few hours later, Fed Harker came back and said, wait, we are seeing inflation cooling, and it's okay to skip a meeting. Now, there was a lot of discussion between pause, skip, whatever. It doesn't really matter. It seems like the Fed, which is going to reconvene in a week and a half, might skip. And that would give another fuel to the market. Again, Charlie Bilello shows us how commodities are coming down in the last year. Look at all the commodities. Everything that created the inflation is dropping like a rock. We're not yet seeing the CPI dropping, but at least according to all kinds of reports, it's supposed to start dropping in the next few months. And this is NVIDIA CEO, Jensen Huang, which says this week that he doesn't see any problem with Taiwan Semiconductors or Taiwan manufacturing. TSM is the Taiwan Semiconductors. He feels safe relying on them. But at the same time, he's also checking how Intel can produce their NVIDIA's chips, NVIDIA graphic cards, because they want to expand the manufacturing capabilities. So Intel got a huge bump through this news, because everyone that says NVIDIA these days gets a pay raise. And this is Elon Musk. He went to China after 2-3 years that he wasn't there, met several ministers and officials in China government. Actually, I think he met more officials than he met in the US government, and talked about increasing or growing the Shanghai factory, and also starting to use FSD in China. This would be an amazing milestone to start doing that. Of course, data won't come out and all the regular wall of China. Amazon is going to pay the FTC about over $30 million over a Ring. Apparently, employees of Ring, now Amazon company, looked at the videos and they're not allowed to. That's the reason. Ford Jim Farley says that he doesn't see how till 2030 electric vehicles may not reach cost parity with regular internal combustions. Well, welcome to 2030. This came out of Sawyer Merritt yesterday or today. Tesla says that all Model 3 vehicles in the US now qualify for the full $7,500 EV tax credit. If that is the case, and you want to purchase Tesla Model 3, reduced by $7,500, and if you're in a state that gives you additional tax benefits, you are now under $30,000. If you don't have a state that gives you benefits, you're at $32,000, which means that, Jim Farley, welcome to 2030, because we are here already. I don't see any reason why someone would buy a regular car when they can get the Model 3 rear wheel at less than $30,000. And this is the new launch for, yes, he didn't stop. Let's watch again. He didn't stop with the metaverse. This is Meta launching their AR, VR goggles. And they launched it. They were in a hurry to launch it this week. You're going to find out in 2 minutes why. This is the Quest 3. Would be available fall 2023. It's lighter, it's more compact, it's more powerful. But it's still, I don't know if I can use it for hours and hours. But maybe they designed it in a better way. And Lucid doesn't miss an opportunity to miss. So Lucid that promised that they have enough cash, no problem, are raising $3 billion because they're out of cash. So nothing that they say anyway is something you can trust and go to the bank. And this is only my opinion, of course. You should not take my opinion to the bank, because I am not a financial advisor. This is happening Monday, June 5th, 1 p.m. Eastern. Apple, WWDC 23 are gonna launch their VR AR headset, and that's why Meta launched their own. I'm mainly gonna listen to two letters that Apple hasn't said yet. AI, A and I. Once they say that, that might take Apple to a new high. There this week, we're very close to all-time high. When we look at companies that are reporting this week, we don't have too big of a companies. We do have GitHub, we have all the GameStop meme, etc. We have DocuSign, and we have NIO, which is a Chinese EV. When we look at the SPX or the SPY, it doesn't really matter. The S&P 500, we can see that we are on a course to break out and contend with, let's go back to my drawings, contend with 43.25, which would bring us back to August 2022. Breaking up that would bring us to 4,500, and that would create the capitulation for the bears and a new bull market. Because when you measure from the bottom of 13th of October all the way to where we are, the S&P 500 went up 22%. NASDAQ is in a bull market, and now the S&P is also in a bull market. So which week are we going to have? A good week, a bad week? What I can tell you is, as a bull, I want to see the market cooling down a bit. I want to see technology cooling back a bit. I want to see the big companies that had this amazing rally give some of the money back. The reason why? Because I want more companies to participate. I want to see the materials. I want to see the industrials. I want to see companies in the Russell. I want to see more and more companies participate. That will expand the breadth, and that will create the huge bull market that we're waiting for versus the 7, 10, 20 companies that are pulling the market ahead. That's me. Stock Talk with Micha Stocks, where we summarize the week. If you enjoyed it, it would be great if you can smash that like button, write me a comment, and who knows? I know I'll answer you, but who knows? Maybe I'll answer you. Till next time, bye-bye.